a Fulbright scholar at Harvard. I'm like, what? And now she's a hologram mom? So
she's living the Harvard dream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, man, what would I have done if I could have been able to... Anyway, I would still be here talking to you all. That's what I would be doing. Later, she is awakened by Narek, who, comes and knocks on her door. He asks her if she's all right, and, she tells him that she didn't know anything about any of that stuff she was talking about. But she'd read all the files, the whole dossier, and she must have picked something up from that and didn't, remember it, but it was in her, like, subconscious kind of thing. And so she's like, do you believe me? And I'm just so tired of her putting up with this crap. As soon as she's like, do you believe me? He's like, can you keep a secret? I think I'm falling in love with you. And I'm like, may be falling in love with you. And I'm like, honestly, what a bunch of crap. And then he hugs her, and I wrote, she's falling for this crap again. Mm-mm. If she were my friend, I would be like, no, girl, no.
Yeah, it was a weird scene, and he's creepy. Yeah. I know he's supposed to be the hot Romulan, but he knows that she's synthetic. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got to know what he can say that's going to manipulate her, and apparently this works.
Yeah. He's like, I think I'm going to watch some romantic comedy movies from the Earth 1990s and figure out the things to say to a lady. Anyway, so the next scene, we see a woman waiting in the hallway. Then you can see that it's Lieutenant Rizzo, which I don't know what her real name is. Maybe it's Rizzo. I don't know. And she's back to her Romulan self. Narek walks past her. He didn't see her, and so she grabs him, and she says, I'm back. And he replies, and so are your ears, since if you forgotten, last week he was talking about how funny she looked with round ears. She creepily... Oh, I don't know, this family. Ugh. She's just like, oh, I can smell her on you. And she's talking about how it's all carnal. She sniffs him. Ugh, you're just entirely too close to your brother in general. Like,
this is very Jaime and Cersei Lannister. Like, this whole dynamic between the siblings here.
I appreciate you coming up with a newer reference than me saying flowers in the attic last week.
Although, still an excellent reference. But this is very much Game of Thrones Lannister stuff happening. I don't really know what's going on here. It's almost like... So at this point, I know we kind of said I said last week that maybe this was the dead brother that he talked about in episode 1. But my question is, like, if that's even true, which I don't know anymore, what is going on with this family? Like, I'm more inclined to think that they're not related at this point.
I think that they are. It feels very... I mean... It feels very like, I don't know, like Greek tragedy, weird Oedipus complexy thing going on, which to me matches the structure of like the act play that they're going for. It just feels very old world as far as narrative structure to have like this weird incestuous sibling relationship.
Okay, I can get that. It's still creepy, but it's almost
it's
like...
very creepy.
It's almost like, Romulans are more emotional than Vulcans, but it's usually not, like, that way. Mm-hmm. It's usually just, like, their passion for ruling things, fighting people and stuff, I don't know, shoulder pads, wearing uncomfortable-looking fabrics. Except for in this, she's wearing, like, this leather-looking thing. But yeah, he says it's good that he tells her it's good that you look like your old self again or something. So it's like, okay, so she's not the brother that was turned into, I mean, we could have a trans Romulan. That would be cool. But I was like, I didn't even think about that until just now. I'm like, because it's like, some people were saying she could have been the brother, but it's like, she's the sister no matter what. I don't know. This dynamic is just strange, and I need to know more. Why can't I have another episode today.
I have to say, I appreciate the wait on episodes. You know, as much as fun as it is to binge something, there's something, it's an event. Everyone watches it at the same time. You can discuss it. You know, I missed it.
There's something about the anticipation, too.
Yeah, the build up for it. I'm excited for next Thursday when it comes out again.
Right? There's so many times in just this conversation where it looks like they're just gonna make out. And it's so weird, because, like, talking about the miscalculation of what happened on Earth, and he whispers in her ear, it was your miscalculation. And it's like, they pull back from each other after whispering in each other's ear, and they're only, like, 3 inches away from each other's face, and they're, like, breathily talking to each other. I'm like, this is just wrong. Anyway, but she wished him luck after he pulls away from her. He's trying to leave, and she wishes him luck and tells him not to fall in love again. Right? She says again.
I think so, yeah.
I wrote that down, because then I'm like, I don't know if she did or not, but I am pretty sure she did. I guess he's done this before? He falls for his targets a lot, I guess. So maybe he already had fallen in love with Dodge at some point, but then he couldn't do anything because she had a boyfriend. Or maybe he was the boyfriend, and he didn't really die. He was surgically altered then. Sorry. So, then we go back to Picard's house. Jurati reveals to Picard what she didn't tell Commodore O was that she is going with him to find Dodge or the other Dodge or whatever. I like how she does that. And that's amusing. Picard gets beeped on his comm badge. It's Rios, and he's a little early, but he says it's because things are heating up. Sources tell him that. So then we have Jurati trying to convince Picard to take her with him. She's a doctor that studies this stuff. You know, she just killed some guy to protect him. You know, it's like she's, again, seems to be laying it on a little thick. I don't know if either one of you think that.
I mean, I definitely did, but I didn't mind it because it was such a cool moment, but it definitely felt over the top.
And I like that, you know, the comm link is still going, so it's like you see Rios, like, stacking up some boxes and, like, listening and kind of, like, making these faces, because she's like, I killed a man for you, and he's just like, Oh, I love it. It's great. So they both beam up. We also learn, not that this is important, that her name is Agnes P. Jurati. Don't know what her middle name is, but I'm going to say Priscilla.
I think that flows together nice.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. She says she doesn't know how much it's going to cost or anything, and Rios chimes in from the ship before they beam up that he is expensive. Which, after meeting him, we know that is probably very much him to say something like that. So once they beam aboard, Picard sees that Rafi's there. Like, oh, hey! So glad that you could come. I'm excited that you're going to hang out with us. And she's like, no. This is like a shared lift ride. I'm just going where you're going, and then no more. But she tells him that she found Maddox on the free cloud place that had popped up on her computer screen, and, you know, she's just like, I don't have to tell you why I need to go there. All right, this is going to be a plot point somewhere. But this is also where, as you mentioned earlier, that she was like, no security check or anything for this chick. Like, what's going on? You know, it's like, another clue.
I feel like the story's at least wanting us to believe that we can't trust her, which almost makes me think, like, well, maybe we can then, if there's so much pressure to make us think that she can't be trusted. But there is one thing that I want to bring up first. It's kind of treading back a little bit. When he goes, like, it's getting hot here, and they're teleported there. Why did they leave Laris and Zabin behind? Because, like, if it's gonna get dangerous, they're just left there.
Right? I mean, maybe if Picard's not at his house, they're not gonna come bother him anymore.
Yeah, it just didn't feel very nice, because I don't imagine that, like, all of a sudden, like, the Romulan assassins are like, oh, wait, Picard's not there, might as well turn around they're surely gonna still go there and investigate stuff. Or maybe not.
Yeah, but I think that Shaban and Laris being former members of the Tal Shiar, I mean, we saw them take out armed guards with wine bottles and a cane. I mean, I think, and too, Picard had already said that he wanted them to stay behind and, look after the chateau. I think they're going to be okay. Like, I mean, I think that they can handle pretty much most threats that could show up at their doorstep. They're clearly well trained. They're clearly work well as a team. Like, I think they'll be okay.
I definitely agree. I think they will be. But it made me worry about them. I care about them. They're fun new characters.
I love these characters. And yeah, I hope I hope nothing happens to them as well.
Right. Well, as we saw from this trailer, we know there's going to be at least another scene at his house because we see Picard at his desk talk. So it's like we know they're going to go back there, so at least we're going to see them again, I would hope.
Well, it could be a flashback.
Oh, but they'd still be there.
This is true.
But they may not be safe, so I get it. So then we get to the last bit of the show, and maybe the best part, because they go to take off, and Picard gets to say, engage.
With the Next Generation music going.
Yes! Like, it's sort of like a not as exuberant version.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a little bit calmer, but it's still the same song. Fits better with this show. I was grinning.
Well, I was too. It just felt like now the story has all of its little ducks in a row, and now we're getting Star Trek.
Yeah. So that's our episode.
And now Picard is in space. Like, that's
yes.
Now the space adventure can begin. Yeah, what a great way to end this episode with him saying engage.
Mm-hmm. So when do y'all think we're gonna see Bruce Maddox? Do you think they're gonna find him in the next episode, or do you think it's gonna be several episodes? Like, is it gonna take a while for them to get to this place? And do you think he'll actually be alive?
I think that we will see Bruce Maddox in this season. I've said that kind of all along. Not all along, I shouldn't say that. I've said that, I think, since at least episode 2, with how many times they've name-dropped him. Now, this episode, they've found him. I think we are going to see Bruce Maddox. I don't think it's going to be next episode. I think they are going to maybe wait. I think it's going to be another couple of episodes. I don't think it'll be the last episode of the season, kind of a end of Force Awakens kind of a thing where Rey finally finds Luke Skywalker. I don't think it's gonna be like that, but I think it will be a bit later on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell yet. I could definitely see like
you
we've
saying
been
that like that, like you're like I can't tell you.
Well, like
Nicola's been hold out on us. He's not telling us things.
Oh, I know all the things. He's been name dropped so many times. Maybe we could see him next episode, and there's more. There's so much more going on that maybe there's more to this. Just Bruce Maddox. We've already found him. Are we just gonna we know where the hidden treasure is. Let's meander a bit.
Mm-hmm. But if there's more to Soji or whatever, it's I guess they could find him in the middle and then deal with her being the Borg queen or Data's daughter or all of the above, by the end. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on. But also the whole sort of slow burn kind of thing.
I'm curious because we haven't seen 709 yet. We haven't seen Riker. I kind of felt like Riker was going to be on Earth, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like Riker's on Earth anymore.
Maybe they're on Beta Z.
I mean, who knows where in the galaxy they are? But I just from the trailers, it always felt like they're on Earth. I thought Picard was gonna talk to Riker before he goes on his adventure, but. Looks like he's hanging out with Riker mid-adventure.
Yeah, and the next 2 episodes are going to be directed by Jonathan Frakes, and we know that Eleanor's going to be in the next episode. From the, next on, we see the flashback to him, I guess, as a kid or whatever, and then a little bit of him as an adult. And the picture on IMDb is of him, and then for episode 5, the picture is Seven. So unless Seven shows up at the end of next episode, we won't see her till 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of